Hello everyone, how are you all? I hope you all are doing well. Welcome back to the channel. Today we will talk about chapter number 9, Internal and External Communication of IGCSE Business Studies. It's a full chapter explanation, so be with me for the whole of the video so that you can understand all the points. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe my channel and press the bell icon so that you can receive the new videos. All these videos are helpful for you because you can prepare your content by sitting at your home. You don't need to go anywhere, just open the playlist, whatever you want. For example, if you want IGCSE, AS levels, A levels, so you can see the playlist and open it and go for it. All the videos are available and well explained. Okay, so let's start. Chapter number 9 is about internal and external communication of the organization. Okay, for example, can you read it? Hopefully some of the people, those who are living in China, maybe they can read it, but I cannot read it because it is not a proper communication. So in order to make a effective communication, you need to use a proper language. Now, effective communication. What is effective communication? Communication is the transferring of message from the sender to the receiver who understand the content of the message. Communication should be effective. So communication is there is one sender and one receiver. When sender sends the messages, receiver receive the messages. Okay, it is called communication of these two people. Communication in business life is important. It is important due to some reasons. Three of the reasons I have shared with you. Those are builds up an effective team. When your organization is doing a effective communication, what basically is happening that you are building an effective team and it helps in managing and guide employees. When communication is good, you can help your employees, you can guide your employees, you can manage your employees. Okay, thirdly, when your employees, you are making good communication with your employees and they are well connected, they are a team, they have good communication, they have effective communication. So what will happen, you will have less errors and you will have less mistakes in your organization. So these are the three main benefits of effective communication. Clear? Next is, for example, here this person is giving message to this lady. Okay, so in this picture you can see the sender is a man, message is transferred to the receiver, this lady. Now we can see in this properly that they are making a communication. Okay, after that, if the lady, the receiver, understands the message and after that she gives a feedback, it is a proper communication. Basically we call it a two-way communication. Once you will study it further, one-way communication, till here it's a one-way communication, that he sent the message and she received the message, that's it. There is no response involved in it. Okay, so that is why we call it a one-way communication. Once she understood and after that she is replying by the feedback, then it means that the sender also received the feedback. Now it is confirmed that she received the message. Now it's a two-way communication. Medium of communications, we have different mediums of communication. Visuals are there, verbals are there, written are there, notices board we use, letters we use, billboards we use, meetings we use. We will study it further. After that, one-way communication, as I told you, that when sender is sending a message, for example in this diagram, sender is sending a message, take these goods to the customer. Okay, in this particular diagram we can see that easily we can understand that it's a one-way communication because there is no response from the lady. Message is sent from the sender to the receiver, receiver has no chance to provide any feedback. That is why we call it a one-way communication. Clear? Second is two-way communication. Here we can see the same thing, but now we can see that the receiver is giving a confirmation or discussing something about the message, that she has delivered the product, she did not deliver the product to the customer, or anything she can say. But when she is providing any feedback, it means it's called two-way communication. Message is sent from the sender to the receiver. Receiver provides response or feedback. It is called two-way communication. It has some benefits. Two of those are: the sender will know whether or not the person receiving the message has understood the action, understood and acting upon. That now sender is now sure about it, that she received the message and she is acting upon what he has said to him, said to her. Both people are involved in communication process. Receiver is motivated. When both people are involved, receiver is motivated in this case. Okay, so this is called two-way communication. Next is internal and external communication. Internal communication is what we are doing within the organization. For example, when there is a organization, there is a business, it has 10 employees and one manager, one CEO or manager or owner, you can say. So if they are talking to each other, okay, employees to managers, employees to owner, it is called their internal communication within the organization. Okay, for example, they have some meetings, they are communicating in meetings, they are talking by emails, they are talking by notices boards, whatever. But within the organization, whatever the communication you are doing is called internal communication. And external communication is communication with another organization or individual. External communication has to go well. External communication is basically when we are talking outside the organization, when we are talking to another organization in the same field, different field, or we are talking to customers, we are talking to suppliers externally. Okay, external people of the organization, when we are talking to them, it is called your external communication. Okay, and it should always be very effective, because it is the question of the reputation of your organization. Understand? Here are some examples what comes in external communication, what comes in internal communication. Okay, letters, fax, direct mail, internet, video, telephones, advertising, websites, all of these comes in external communication. In internal communication, we can use team briefing, notices, reports, memos, face-to-face, emails. These are all our internal and external communication examples. We can use these. Now, your task right now is, for example, after seeing all of this content from the start till here, if you have properly understood the video, the lecture, your task is, what is the difference between internal and external communication? This one you have to explain. Explain 4 features of effective communication. Has what is the difference between one-way and two-way communication? Give one advantage of two-way communication. Just stop the video here and start doing your task. If you are able to do this, then you can move forward. Okay, if you are unable to do that, again watch the video and prepare the things. Okay, understand the things and then answer these questions. Okay, let's move forward. Next topic is lesson 2, and for that our objective is how to select the best medium of communication. Communication method. Information can be transmitted in several ways: verbal, written and visual. These are the mediums of communication. Verbal communication is it involves the sender speaking to the receiver. For example, I am speaking to you, you are listening to me. Okay, it is called our verbal communication. Written communication, the message is written to the receiver. When we are giving some kind of documents to the people, some kind of written proofs, some emails, some messages. Okay, any written proof is your written communication. Visual is using charts, using videos, images or diagrams to communicate a message is your visual communication. Right now what you are doing is a visual communication. There is no best method of communication, so appropriate medium of communication must be selected depending upon the situation. First, the sender also has to analyze the advantages and disadvantages of each type of communication. See, sometime, for example, students are studying, they say, Mr. This one is the very best method, this one is the very best. No, there is no best method. All of the methods are very good, but depending on the situation, which one is the most appropriate, you use that. Okay, you need to understand when to use which medium of communication. Okay, that is very important. Now, How you can choose the appropriate medium of communication? Several factors that the sender of a message should consider before choosing the most appropriate method to use to communicate with the receiver. First, speed. Second, cost need to be low. Message details, what are your plans, what are your figures. Leadership styles, if it is democratic, two-way verbal communication is likely to be used. The receiver, near my office or hundreds of workers are there, a lot of people are there, less people are there, so it depends. Importance of written record, if you want a written record, you want written record or not. Okay, if it's not needed you can use verbal, if it's needed you can use written communication. Importance of feedback needed quickly, if you want a quick feedback then you can use verbal communication because you are talking face to face and you can have a quick response. So these are the main points you need to consider before you choose any medium of communication. And remember, method of communication, types of communication, medium of communication, channels of communication, these are all the same things. Okay, you have to discuss verbal, written, and visual. Now, communication media. Verbal communication, we can see here one-to-one talks, telephone conversations, video conferencing, meetings, and team briefings all comes in verbal communication, and also we call it oral communication. So don't confuse yourself between oral and verbal communication. Written communication is basically the business letters, memos, reports, notice pinned on the board, faxes, text messages, emails, social networking, Facebook, Twitter, all of those are written communication because they have evidence, and these are all in the written form. We can see that. After that, we can have visual communication. Visual communication is depending upon the pictures, the charts, okay, or the movies or the videos we are looking at, and we can make some perceptions in our mind, okay, related to those videos. Okay, those are all your visual communications. Advantages and disadvantages of three of these we will discuss now. Verbal communication have some advantages. For example, it is quick, it is efficient, it is immediate feedback, it is reinforced. You can judge the body language in it because you are talking face to face. Disadvantages are big meetings, listening under, if you are addressing to the big meetings, how do you know that people are listening, they understood the message or not? Written feedback is not there. Accurate or permanent record needed. For example, you don't know that is accurate, or you don't have any record for that. Next, we have written communication advantages and disadvantages. Advantages of written communication include hard evidence. It is the benefit that you have a proof, reduces disagreements, essential information is there, legality is there, safety is there, displayed, easy to copy and distribute. All of these are written communication advantages. Disadvantages are no direct feedback is there. It is so time consuming. Understandability problems are there. For example, if I am emailing you and you don't understand what I have written in that, what's my concept, what's my main idea, okay, then maybe language barriers are there. So overall, we can say written communication for some people it's confusing, and some people have no interest in that, reading a lot of things. So that is why these are the advantages and disadvantages of written communication. And also in written communication you cannot judge the body language, while face to face you can judge. Visual communication, it is always appealing, it has a great advantage, it is always attractive, again a great advantage. More interesting, more clear, because whatever you see, people are explained, or you are just seeing by yourself, it's all well explained, so it's very clear. Illustrations are there. Disadvantages include no feedback, no checking if message is understood or not, okay, and interpretation, it's all interpretation whether it can be right or wrong. These are all the advantages and disadvantages of visual communication. Next part is formal and informal communication. This is so easy. Formal communication is the channel of communication which is recognized by the business, and such as notice on the boards, emails, and memos. Formal means communication is important, okay, and it shows that the information given is true. In like formal communication is what organization is telling you, Okay, that can be in the form of notices on the board, any information. They can send you the email, they can send you some memos, all of the things, all of the information which organization is giving you on the official note is your formal communication. Informal communication, for example, here in the corner you can see this diagram. Okay, the meeting is going on, whatever they are talking right now is a formal communication. And in this picture you can see they are laughing, the boss and the employee, for example. So they are talking, maybe they are talking personal, they are talking out of the office. Okay, and they are not discussing the office work. So it is called your informal communication. So we can see here informal communication might be communication between friends and co-workers. There is no set structure and the information transferred is not recognized by the business. This channel of communication could be used by the managers to try out new ideas before publicly announcing it to the rest of the company. However, informal communication can result in gossips, canned rumor, and managers have no way to remove these informal links from the people. Okay, so this was basically all about medium of communication and formal and informal communication. Now what's your task is, if you have completed the previous task and you have gone through the next part, medium of communication and informal formal communication, you can do this task. And if you are able to do this task in 9 minutes, that's pretty good for you. So what are the tasks, what is your task, what are the three different communication methods? Explain, you know very well, okay, because these are verbal, visual and written communication. Explain three factors to consider when choosing the most appropriate communication method. Also I discussed provide one disadvantage of verbal communication. Also I discussed with you provide one advantage of written communication. Explain what is visual communication is, what visual communication is, what is the difference between formal and informal communication. So if you go through the second lesson, okay, out of that you can easily find out the answers for these questions. So stop here, solve it, okay, and after that if you are able to do it, move forward. If you are unable to do it, then you can see again the second part, from the second lesson you can start, and then you can again solve these questions. Once you are done, then move forward. Here it starts the lesson 3, which includes the objectives of the most common reason for communication failure, barriers to communication. Failure is barriers to communication. How businesses can overcome these barriers to communication. We can see here in this diagram barriers to effective communication. For example, the difference is there, one person is speaking on the loudspeaker to other person, but other person is not feeling comfortable with this kind of communication. So it is a barrier we can understand. Secondly, here in this picture you can see, guys, that one person is speaking, there is a wall inside, and the other person is unable to listen what he is saying. So it is also a barrier. The wall is a barrier in this communication. What exactly the communication barrier is, as we already know, the 4 parts of effective communication includes the sender, medium, receiver and feedback. However, communication may fail if there are problems with one of these 4 features. If one part fails, it becomes a barrier to effective communication, which might cause a breakdown in communication, resulting in serious consequences to the business. Here are some common barriers to effective communication and how to overcome them. We will discuss all of the barriers and their solution as well. Here we can see the first description for the problem is language too difficult, means technical jargon. Technical jargon, it's a language barrier. Okay, so how to overcome this barrier? Use appropriate and understandable language. Second, next barrier is unclear message, speaks too quickly. Okay, how we can overcome this barrier? Clear message should be there, feedback to check understanding should be there. Okay, there should be a feedback to check the understanding of the message. Next, we can see here wrong message, wrong receiver. How we can overcome this problem? Right message, correct receiver. Wrong message, wrong receiver mean For example, I want to talk, there are two people, person A, person B. I want to give message to person A, but unfortunately I gave the message to person B. It's a wrong person I choose. Okay, so that is why I can rectify it. Too long, too much detail, too long messages you are writing, so brief messages in main points. For example, we are studying from the slides. In the book a lot of things are written. Okay, it's a long way you have to go through the entire chapter in order to understand, but now here in the points you are understanding everything. Then next is lost message. Then you can overcome this barrier by insisting on the feedback. Wrong channel, use the appropriate channel. Next is long chain of command. Your messages from 8 channels it's coming, and once it came to you, it was not a proper message. So always use the shortest channel. No feedback received, use most useful medium to receive the feedback. Next is breakdown of medium, and how you can overcome this, use alternative mediums. Next is not listening, not paying attention. How to overcome this, message should be emphasized and ask for the feedback. Next is sender not linked, sender not trusted, unwilling to act. How you can overcome this, build trust, use another sender. Then we can see no feedback, how to overcome it, ask for the feedback, choose appropriate medium for the feedback. Too slow, distorted message, too many people, direct line of communication should be there to overcome this problem. Okay, so these were the barriers. Now your task is, if you understand everything, do go for the task, you can do it. For example, let's see the task. Explain what is communication barrier. Give one problem and solution for the sender, give one problem and solution for the medium, give one problem and solution for the receiver, give one problem and solution for the feedback. Okay, so you can easily answer these questions. If you are unable to give the answer for these, go back again to the lesson 3, and then understand everything. Okay, listen to it very carefully, and after that again come to this and do the task. Okay, hopefully you are able to do it. So in this way, all of your topics related to this chapter has been finished. Okay, thank you for watching, and if you have any questions, you can send any message on my WhatsApp number, or you can email me, or you can comment on the video. I will reply you there. Make sure, if you are new to the channel, please subscribe my channel for the more videos. Thank you very much. Stay blessed.